Wolfman is written and directed by Leigh Whannell, now returning to another Universal Monsters/villain story after directing The Invisible Man. And here, a family at a remote farmhouse is attacked by an unseen animal, but as the night stretches on, the father begins to transform into something unrecognizable. The film stars Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner, and much like The Invisible Man, is an attempt to take what is a larger-than-life story and ground it in some kind of reality. Both of them involve a bit of a domestic situation. In The Invisible Man, it was about a woman dealing with an abusive spouse. And here we have a stay-at-home dad, played by Abbott, who's very much trying to not recreate the sins of his father. He doesn't want to raise his young daughter and make the same mistakes that his dad made. There was a really good line early in the movie that it was essentially like a parent tries so hard to not scar their children that they end up becoming the thing that scars their children. I thought that was really profound, and that's essentially the theme of the movie, is trying to not become something that you don't want to become. In an emotional sense, he doesn't want to make the same mistakes his father made, and in a physical sense, he's becoming Wolfman, and would really like to not become Wolfman, because he's going to kill his family if he does. Leigh Whannell is something of a legend in the genre space. I mean, he wrote Saw and starred in it. He, of course, wrote Insidious, had a role in that too, and as a director, Insidious Chapter 3. Actually, not too bad at all. Upgrade, great. Upgrade is awesome. The Invisible Man, also great. And with that movie, he proved that he was arguably one of the only people of recent times anyway, since Stephen Sommers directed The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, that can actually make a really good Universal Monsters film. The Invisible Man is not quite a monster, but he's certainly a villain. With Wolfman, though, he jumps headfirst into the monsters category and does a very good job. I don't think this film is as good as The Invisible Man, but I also don't think that it's necessarily trying to do the same things that film did. It's certainly not as emotionally resonant, nor is it as long as that film. But this is far better than I expected any 2025 reboot of Wolfman to be. This film has a lot of really good ideas. We're going to talk about some of them, but some others are the fact that this movie isn't so much about one transformation sequence that is like end-all be-all, like an American Werewolf of London, where it's like the greatest werewolf transformation ever. This entire film is about this guy becoming this thing, and you get to watch him every step of the way as his senses are heightened. There's an amazing early sequence that has a great payoff that I won't spoil for you, but essentially he's hearing something, and it sounds like the world's largest animal is stomping on the roof, and what he eventually uncovers is really fun. And putting us 100% from his POV and allowing us to experience how his senses change, how he reacts to the world, and sometimes even what he sees in a very unique way as well. It's not like we cut to the Predator vision or something. We are in the real world. We are looking at things the way a normal person would, and the camera will shift and it will dolly and will go around him, and the image will begin to transform into what he is seeing. And that was a great idea that pays off in one very effective scare inside a barn. Beyond that one scare, though, I don't really know that that idea had any great payoff, but it was visually really fun. I thought Christopher Abbott in particular was great here, because he is playing a father that is trying so hard to not do the same thing his dad did. And he's trying his best to be the best dad he can, and you instantly like him for that. You can see that there's a little bit of his dad's anger and rage that he is holding back and trying to not be like that early on in the film. And as far as character, this is my favorite thing they do in the whole movie, is the idea of becoming something you don't want to be and trying to be a good father. And I think that's handled very effectively. Also, the actress who plays the young girl, Matilda Firth, was terrific. And Julia Garner has mastered the art of looking genuinely terrified, because she is very, very scared for like half this movie, and she's really good at it. And I was actually kind of surprised at how simple the movie was, because at the end of the day, it really is just a movie about survival. You don't want to die. This thing is trying to kill you, and let's not let that happen, because The Invisible Man had so much depth and so many different characters, and this movie is very contained. And I was also surprised at how quick it starts, really. I mean, once they get there, shit hits the fan, and the movie is that for the rest of the runtime, which is really exciting. That being said, when it ends, again, I won't get into any spoilers, but when it ends, I did sort of feel like I was waiting for an emotional payoff that didn't quite come, because an aspect of the movie that is very important to the setup is that Julia Garner, as the mother, is having a harder time connecting with her daughter than Christopher Abbott is. She says that he has an easier time of it, and for her it's not as easy. And so it's important for these characters to sort of team up and go against this thing that is now trying to kill them. And while the physical aspect of this is certainly taken care of when it comes to the mother trying to protect her daughter and make sure this thing doesn't kill her, I did think it was missing a little bit of the emotional side, a reconnection, even if it was just like one scene in the film where the mother and daughter have a conversation that seems to establish steps taken to move forward. I felt like I was missing that beat. What I'll also say about Wolfman that I really appreciated is the commitment to practical makeup effects. There's no American Werewolf in Paris looking shit. It's not like all CGI or anything. This is makeup. And there's also a commitment to being a wolf man. This is not like he transforms into some sort of canine beast. It's just that emotionally, I think there were a few extra things I would have liked to have experienced in the final 10 minutes. But this is a good werewolf movie with a lot of good tension, a lot of good scares. It's very well paced. It never really feels like it drags, at least for me it didn't. And in all the ways that a Wolfman reboot could have gone wrong, I think this movie sidestepped most of them. So guys, if you see the film, I'll be curious to know what you thought of it. Thank you so much as always for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get stunnerized.